Yo, 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 Big Kish back up in here. There's new evidence and a new matter of fact, I'm gonna just read y'all this title. Watch this. Feds finally reveal that their star witness is Gina, HuynI. Young Miami, it panics. Remember, Diddy used to have this other girl named Young Miami. Where is she in this situation? We're about to find out. We got Miss T with the T, if you will. Before we get into that, y'all please go make sure y'all pick up a copy of Street Dad, Geek Dad, Avoiding the Manufactured Mindset, the book I just dropped. Fire. Could y'all please get me up to 1,000 likes? I appreciate that. Please get me up to 1,000 likes. I'm going to leave a link in the description for the purchase of the book. Y'all know I'm like holding y'all. Without further ado, let's get it.
Testifying. So let me tell you guys everything that you didn't see or may have not heard, because it's a lot. I will say the most damning part of her testimony for me is when she describes a freak off where Diddy and another man, an escort, are standing on top of her while she is laying on the floor high off of ecstasy, and they are urinating on her face.
Ew.
The point where she is on their face. And to further give context, on the right-hand side of the court seated is her husband, Alex Fine.
No videos were shown today. Instead, jurors...
Yo, I don't know what's up with her husband. He might be into something for him to be one. I ain't gonna say nothing. Poor children, poor child.
were handed personal screens so that they could privately see images taken from what Cassie called freak-off videos. Cassie had a binder on the stand with her, and she was going through images identifying people in them. Cassie was listing the names of the male escorts, and in some of the images, she said it was herself with baby oil on her.
So when it comes to Diddy, why do you think that you are so heavily involved in everything? Like everything that comes out about him, like you said, it's automatically, but what you think? Well, how you feel, what you got to say?
Because y'all, this stuff...
That's the Young Miami girl that Diddy had. Y'all remember, check it out.
Just flipped the entire Diddy case upside down, because after weeks of secrecy and pure speculation, the feds have finally let the cat out of the bag. And guess who's stepping up as prosecution's star witness? Gina freaking HuynI. And y'all, this isn't just courtroom drama, this is personal. With her messy past with Diddy and the long-standing beef with Miss
Gina HuynI. I never heard of her. I got to do my research. I got to do my knowledge. Gina HuynI.
Young Miami, this right here is giving revenge, it's giving karma, and it might just be the final nail in Diddy's coffin. Miss Young Miami is already panicking, and honestly, we don't blame her. There's a lot to unpack here, so grab your popcorn, because listen, act up, you could get smacked up. Carisha, please.
The defense acknowledged that the videos of alleged freak-offs will be shown, but that those videos, they said, didn't come from the government's investigation so much as it came directly from Cassie's phone. But they were essentially trying to raise doubt about why did she hold on to these videos, and again, making this argument that this case is about love and infidelity and money. But the prosecution is saying, no, you will hear from witnesses that will tell you that they were kicked, they were punched, they were coerced to performing sex. So this is only the beginning.
But before we unveil Gina HuynI as the star witness and why this has Young Miami spiraling, let's pause for a second and recap what went down on day one of the trial. Because the word coming from inside the courts is that these testimonies are being relived and have everybody's heart in their stomach. At this point, there's really no way Diddy walks out of this without facing some real prison time. Going by the reports reaching my desk, this trial is turning into one of the wildest federal cases we've ever seen, and things are getting really intense. But as you already know, the federal trafficking trial of Sean Diddy Combs is currently underway in Manhattan. Under tight security and high-profile witness lists, that courtroom is locked down tighter than Fort.
I think Diddy got like a little lip tuck or something like that. He used to look like a little alligator, like a little crocodile or something.
Knox. Reporters are literally scrambling for scraps, and the public left guessing who else is set to testify. Tangible information started to trickle in on May 13, 2025, when singer and Diddy's ex, Cassie Ventura, the woman we all thought had walked away from the chaos years ago, took the stand. Now, first of all, Cassie walked into that courtroom completely and visibly big pregnant. Her belly is full and round like she was ready to pop any second, which is going to be translated as a bold statement of resilience, and we're about to dive into just how powerful that moment really is. So Miss Ventura took the stand, and let's just say that her first day in court was nothing short of chilling. She dropped her harrowing testimony of how Diddy allegedly controlled every part of her life for years. She detailed years of alleged including violent outbursts and emotional manipulation and infamous freak-offs, where she says she was forced into disturbing explicit acts while Diddy watched. It was brutal. The courtroom felt silent as you could feel the weight of her words.
Ventura and Combs reportedly dated from 2007 to 2018, with her sharing after their romance that he was frequently towards the end of their relationship.
But she didn't just talk about the Cassie painted a picture of a man who allegedly used his money, power, and fame to manipulate it and break people, emotionally and physically. She talked about how he allegedly beat her in hotels, smashed phones, controlled her career, and then used as a means of power. It's the kind of testimony that makes headlines, yes.
What she say? Use what? Bath and Body Works.
And then used as a means of power. It's the kind of testimony that makes headlines, yes, but it's also making a jury listen. And as you could expect, the prosecution were locked in on painting a haunting picture of life with Diddy. And Cassie reportedly broke down in tears on the witness stand as disturbing footage was played. The whole world witnessed in shock the infamous 2016 hotel video that CNN leaked. The word is that that was nothing compared to the even more disturbing footage that were played in court, and Diddy already knew he was done. And even though the defense tried to soften the blow, calling it inhumane but not criminal, it didn't erase what the world saw. A powerful man beating the woman who once loved him.
Next, on the right-hand side of the court, seated, is her husband, Alex Fine. On the left-hand side, Diddy's 6 out of 7 kids are sitting in the courtroom, as Cassie is describing, having weekly freak-offs for years that would last.
Dang, she was doing it every week, y'all. I know she was exhausted. She tired, man. Look. What she get, 30 million? She probably deserve every little bit of it. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. The psychological effect that she have, man, that's wild.
Last 2, 3, one lasted up to 4 days. She talked about damaging hotel rooms so bad in one instance that they had to pay such a hefty fee because the hotel told them that they needed to completely redecorate the room after a freak off.
Y'all, things have apparently been so heavy in there that the jurors have.
They had to buy the hotel rooms. They ain't just rent the hotel room. You know how regular people, we get a hotel for a night. What about $150, something like that? You know what I'm saying? No, he had to purchase the joint. Damn.
To constantly be warned to remain fair and impartial. But the room was so thick with tension, with the weight of the words and the video footage that's being shown. When prosecutors labeled Cassie their key witness, they came hard, especially on the beatings and coercion. They claimed she wasn't the only one. There are others, they said, who were punched, kicked, manipulated, and forced into acts, all a part of a pattern that happened for years.
She was going through images.
Once you damaged like that, you got all that damage, you can't go back to being regular. Your mind, your body, your mind gonna have an urge for that life periodically. It's gonna pop up. Maybe not 3 months from now, maybe not 6. It's gonna pop up. That old regular missionary style that her husband giving her, whatever that daddy. I'm telling you, once you've been damaged like that, your body has a toxic urge to want that again. I'm telling you, that's how the body works. She's damaged, y'all. Damaged. She probably introducing her husband to all type of stuff. Telling you, it ain't funny. I'm not laughing, but I'm telling you, she probably introducing her husband to everything. Everything.
is identifying people in them. Cassie was listing the names of the male escorts, and in some of the images, she said it was herself with baby oil on her, and reporters say that one female juror rested her hand over her chest. Also say that a male juror quickly averted his eyes, and another wrote notes while clearly shaken. Prosecutor Emily Johnson then shifted the focus to when began.
The defense, on the other hand, tried flipping the script, arguing that the case was about love, infidelity, and money, not trafficking. They even questioned why Cassie had held on to some of the explicit videos being used as evidence, attempting to cast doubt on her motives. Cassie's husband, Alex Fine, showed up in a show of support, but was quickly asked to leave the courtroom once the 2018 rape allegations were mentioned, since he might be called as a witness himself. And this, y'all, this is just the beginning. Not to forget, Cassie's expected to stay on the stand for up to 3 days, and it's explosive.
For those who like to stupidly comment, well, why didn't she leave? She said she didn't have the resources and she didn't feel safe to do so. In her own words, I understood Sean's capabilities, his access to guns, and the threats that he made prior to that.
But moving on. So the trial is moving very fast and the energy is tense, and Diddy's legal team is trying hard to shut it all down. The testimonies are stacking and they're not looking good for him. And with more witnesses expected to come forward, the walls are closing in fast. But speaking of more witnesses, the prosecution has been real secretive about who else is on this witness list. Word around the courtroom is that there were more women lined up to take the stand, and it's very apparent by now, especially with Diddy, this is just the beginning. And now word on the streets is that Gina HuynI is the prosecution's other star witness. Everything just hit a whole new level of messy. Not gonna lie, this is gonna be the final nail in the coffin because what she knows is probably way too much. We already know that the history between her, Diddy, and Young Miami isn't the best. But seriously, if Gina does take the stand and all the dirt she's been holding on to comes out in court, Young Miami's whole world might just flip upside down. So let's talk about Miss Gina HuynI, the woman who's now rumored to be the prosecution's star witness, and why her stepping into that courtroom could blow this whole thing sky high. See, Gina isn't just an old flame of Diddy's, no. Diddy had a whole lineup of women, but quite a few stood out, and Gina is one of them that did. She's been in the picture for years. Word is they met back in the 2010s during one of Diddy's wild party eras, and Gina stuck around longer than most because
see, it looked like she got away from it. She still, you know what I'm saying?
it's said that she went official in 2015. What a patient fling. She wasn't just another fling though. She was the girl he kept close even while publicly entertaining other women, even while publicly denying relationship claims. Gina was always somewhere in the dark, loyal and patient. Gina and Diddy were on and off for years. Her name would disappear for a minute, but then bam.
So this is the old girl from before Cassie. I thought it was J-Lo. So it was J-Lo, then Gina. Huh, okay. Who else was it? Okay, J-Lo, Gina, Cassie, then Miami. All right, I got to research that, make sure it's accurate.
She'd be spotted boarding private jets, flexing Chanel bags, and casually being soft-launched into Diddy's background like a certified ghost of girlfriends past. But word in the streets is that Gina stayed real long because Diddy greased her real good, so to speak. Staying behind the scenes was a very small price to pay when she was always being flued out, popping up in his stories every once in a while, and even allegedly living a full-time soft life of the bad boy budget. Now, in case you're wondering why Young Miami feels defeated right now, I'll explain. Heads up. When it comes to Diddy's love life, it's not a triangle, it's a messy web. Also, super important to note that before social media went up in
This ain't no love triangle, it's a messy web. God damn.
flames over the steamy kiss between Gina HuynI and Diddy, Young Miami was already deep in the picture. She had been publicly linked to Diddy, making waves with her very flirty interviews and luxury vacations and red carpet appearances. But let's not pretend it was all hearts and roses. They were vocal about being in an open relationship. Diddy even described it as dating but single, whatever that means. But now that I think about it, that was kind of bold coming from a man whose roster had been more depth than an NBA team. But guess what, y'all? In that 2015, when Diddy hard launched Gina, the timing was sus, because that would mean that Gina's thing with Diddy was overlapping with his long-term relationship with Cassie. The same Cassie who told the court Diddy was two-timing her with the late Kim Porter. Sis even said they all knew about each other and were basically sharing Diddy like a community boyfriend with billionaire benefits. Let's just say,
So this was some community, you know what? No, my bad. It was the wife at first. It was the wife at first. Then J-Lo. Then the girl. Then Cassie. Then Miami.
When the money is
Yeah, Kim Porter.
moneying, folks suddenly get real comfortable
Kim
sharing
Porter was
zip
first.
codes, skincare routines, and apparently men. But anyways, things were fairly low-key between Gina and Diddy until May 2022. That's when Gina decided to break the internet by posting a picture of Diddy planting a kiss on her cheek. Mind you, this was right in the middle of his "we're single but dating" saga with Young Miami. The timing, again, not a coincidence. The intention, pure chaos. When I tell you that social media caught the fire, this one post was like pressing the red button on a nuclear bomb labeled messy, and fans were confused. Blogs were scrambling, and Young Miami, of course, she went off. She jumped on Twitter and said, "Somebody please give this beast some attention," which is code for "don't play me over this man." And just like that, the beef between Gina and Miami officially hit main character mode. It was no longer cold
Hey, she did her voice just like her though.
shade and low-key flexes. This was a full-on Instagram versus Twitter warfare. Let's just say Young Miami didn't find it easy either, because Gina fired back so bad she should have just stuck with dating but single, like Diddy had labeled their entanglement. But anyways, when your man's side piece has Wi-Fi and time, it's already too late. From that moment on, Gina and Miami treated each other like digital punching bags. They took shots via subs, stories, and every platform with the share button. The whole thing reached another level of petty in December 2022 when news dropped that Diddy had welcomed another child with another woman. Gina wasted zero time. She posted a video mocking Miami, saying, "When she beefing with you over a ninja the whole time he got somebody else pregnant. City grows down 1,000. Y'all, she didn't just throw shade, she brought the whole forest with her. Miami, of course, came back swinging with a series of tweets laced with insults, reminding everyone that while Diddy was for everybody, she was the one catching flights, grabbing gifts, and holding down front row seats. Still, no amount of Birkin bags could undo the fact that someone else was pushing his baby in a stroller. But there's where it gets even messier. Despite the drama, Diddy kept them both around, and they stayed, including Dana Tran, who had just had Diddy's baby in 2022. The entire time, Gina would post and
Dana Train, who that? So it's another. Oh damn.
delete, and Miami would tweet and subtweet, and Diddy was out here enjoying his clowns and a circus that he created. Now fast forward to today, and Gina being rumored as the prosecution's star witness in Diddy's federal case. Y'all, that's not just a bombshell, that's a nuclear detonation, because Gina isn't just a girl who used to date him. She's someone who knows things, a lot of things. We're talking about a woman who's been around him longer than Miami and after Cassie, and that means she's allegedly saw the transition from one era of Diddy to the next, and she knows how that machine runs and who was involved and where the bodies, figuratively speaking, were buried. And if Cassie lit that match, Gina's walking in with a full can of gasoline and a flamethrower. Not to mention that right after they broke up, as standard procedure, Gina started blasting Diddy for being a b***h and occasionally comparing her to Cassie. It's also being speculated that Diddy allegedly put hands on her and made her terminate 2 pregnancies. All I can say is that hell hath no fury like a...
Hold up, is that Tasha K? Oh, I didn't know she had a radio station.
All I can say is that hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. And insiders claim Gina kept receipts. Not just texts and photos, but real behind-the-scenes intel. But what happened at all these infamous parties? Which celebs came and went? Who was getting paid to stay silent? And how much Young Miami really knew? And if she starts talking under oath, no NDA in the world can save Diddy from that level of exposure. But as for Young Miami, she's reportedly shooketh. And who wouldn't be? Imagine beefing with a girl over a man only for the girl to get the last word in a courtroom, backed by federal agents. It's not just embarrassing, it's called...
They said Young Miami is panicking over this trial. They said she panicking.
Career altering, because if Gina starts name dropping and she tells the jury about everything she saw, from overlapping relationships to secret payments and backdoor deals, it won't just affect Diddy. Miami's whole image, her connection to the drama, and the perks she once flexed could all come crashing down. Y'all, we can't outtweet the testimony. The feds don't care about followers, sis. So yeah,
y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Is Young Miami gonna be tied into all of this? Cause when Gina exposed her, hey, look, she might have to go on the run. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though. I'm gonna leave a link in the description. Big Kish signing out. I'm going, y'all.